Hello. Hey, today we're going to learn how to upload a list of people, a list of contacts into your Revelana contacts. So here we are in contacts. So all you have to do is go to revelana.com, go to the login, log into your account. It's going to land you at the dashboard. And then you're just going to click contacts here to get into your contacts. And then what you're going to do is you could either add individual contacts by clicking here, and entering the information. But if you have an Excel list or a Google Docs list that you want to upload, then you can go ahead and click here where it says import contacts. You can also export contacts, but this time we're going to import contacts. So let's click on that. And one thing I want to point out here is that you want to look at the rules, right? So if you say ready to be imported, just make sure you're ready. So what you want to do is just look at the rules. Don't cry. It's pretty basic. If this is going to make you cry, we charge a very small service fee. We can do this for you. And sometimes it can get a little bit more complicated, but for the most part, you want to make sure it's a .csv file. So it can be either an Excel spreadsheet or a Google Docs, but it has to be a .csv, which is comma separated values. And then also another thing too, it should be one sheet. So sometimes one sheets have several different tabs of data on it. Just make sure that it's one sheet and that it's within the size limit, which is huge. It's 50 meg is the size limit. So like our contact list, for Louology, Revelana is much bigger, so we'd probably have to split it up, but I doubt you have hundreds of thousands of records. If you do, yay, kudos, right? But you should be fine with the size. Just, go through this, make sure that the dates either have dashes or dots. Just look at the rules, right? And how you set up dollar values or whatever's in there. And don't worry about the phone number. It could just be in there specific way and it's going to upload. But let me go back. Let's get out of the rules because I don't want you to cry. And let's go to upload a file, right? So we're going to upload this sample Revelana list. It's in there, right? So all I need to do now is click next. And what the system does is that it maps so it looks at the list and it gives me a sample, like one of the first names is Erica, one of the first names is Lucy. And one thing I want to point out, you want to clean your list before you even upload it, right? So actually, let me show you too, but you want to make sure that it's the title cased, it's called, because these first names, like you can mess up the last names, Lucy Lifelines. You just want Lucy title cased and Erica title cased, but not any other way, because you're going to be using these first names in personalized communications. And then the phone numbers can be in there anyway. It's going to strip out everything anyway, but it took the phone numbers that were in there and it called it a phone. It automatically does this, and it also takes the email addresses and it calls it email. So it does its best guess. And you can see that these are all correct. They all line up, right? There's no business names, but it did guess. That's company name. What it didn't do, and I did this purposely, is there's one column on the spreadsheet called wedding date. And it doesn't have that. It doesn't even have wedding dates. So what do you do? What do you do? So you have to go to settings. You have to click on settings here. So you have to cancel out. Let's cancel out, and that's fine. So you want to cancel out and you want to go to settings. And then we have to go to custom fields and then add a custom field. You add a custom field. And if it were a missing phone number field, like phone number 2, then you want to use this. If it was, let's say, a numerical, like how many people are in your family, you want to add a field that takes numbers, right? You guys know what radio buttons are. Those are radio choices. But in this case, it's not a list. It's not a date. It's not a signature. It really is, you don't need options. You just need a text box that has actually wedding date. I take that back. Wedding date, you want a date field, right? So you click the date field. And then what you can do is call it wedding date. That's what you're calling it. So that's the name of the field. you don't need a placeholder. The placeholder is what shows up inside the field. So you can say, enter your wedding date here. That shows up inside the field and it disappears when you click on the field, but we don't really need that. So I'm going to leave that blank. And then it's going to go, it's a contact. So you want to, that's all there is. So you want to go ahead and press save. And then we're going to go back to where we were. So you want to go back, and then we're going to go to contacts, and then we're going to import the list again. Now, before we import the list, I want to show you something. So I'm going to show you the list itself. So if you have columns of data with garbage in it and stuff you don't really need to import, absolutely delete those columns. You want to click up here and then right click, and then you want to press delete. You want to delete columns of data like customer ID or like whatever, date created, just any kind of nonsense you don't need, because if you're trying to import nonsense and garbage, you're going to have garbage in your contacts, but also you're going to have to go back and create custom forms like custom fields like I just did for garbage. So just go into if there is garbage, just go in and get those deleted. Make sure it's clean. And again, we can do this. If you go to Revelana.com, you can rely on us to do this for you. And that you want to definitely take advantage of that if you don't know what you're doing, because we don't want you to cry. The other thing I want you to notice is that there is almost always a top, it's called the title line, right? So here we want the title line in here, and you noticed our system was smart enough, even without the word name up here, or first name, without that, it was able to sense that it was a first name. But having the title field there definitely makes a difference. And then also, I want you to note too that on an Excel spreadsheet, like Amy Angry Eyebrow, we want to make sure that there's at least an email or a cell phone number. And in this case, I'm going to make email much more. So we're going to say amy@test.com, because we don't have info, but it's not going to import if you don't have either a cell phone or an email in there. And if I wanted to put a cell phone in there, actually I put in a bunch of fake ones, but you can put like 888-888-8888. But you want to make sure that each cell phone is different in the field, or it's going to confuse the system, thinking that why would Sally Sunspots have the same cell phone as Marcy Muffin Top? They must be the same person, and it might want to merge those fields. So let's not do that. Let's have a different number in each field. And again, if you're about to cry, please make sure that you just go to Revelana Services and you just go down to that easy order form in the footer and order just basic tech support for us to do an email upload. I mean, a list upload for you, and we could do it within minutes when you would be crying and probably taking hours and hours to figure this out. So I'm now going to notice it has a birthday field too. And that birthday field is also in Revelana already. So we're lucky that way. So I'm going to go ahead and save the changes. And then what I'm going to do is close this, and we're going to, let's see, don't save this one. I had two open. So what we're going to do is we are going to go back and try this again, right? So we're going to import the list, upload the file, and then here it is. We're going to upload that and then go next. And then we'll see it's all matched up, right? So now we have it all matched up. We don't even have a business name in there. There's wedding dates in there. Now it says wedding date. See that? So it's matched up. Everything's good. There's a birthday and a birthday. So let's go ahead and hit next. Everything looks good. Before you go anywhere, definitely name the import. Name it. So this is let's call it the Wedding Expo 2022. I don't know what year it is now when you're watching this, but it's 2022 right now. And let's add a tag. This is for creating smart lists later. So we can tag everyone as Wedding Expo 2022. And then at some point you can just do, oh, by the way, you'll see that tag doesn't exist yet in your Revelana system. We just created a new tag. So you see that plus sign? You want to actually click on this, and that adds the tag. So just entering it here didn't add it. You have to click that. Let's say I wanted to add another tag and say, in addition to the Wedding Expo, these are also, I know it makes no sense, but I know acne clients is in there. So let's put in acne. And then you can see the tag already exists. There's no plus sign. That means the tag already exists, right? So that then you'd click on that and it would add the tag. It's going to tag these clients as they come in. So maybe we just call them prospects, whatever. But that's all you really need, because you need that one tag to be able to pull this whole list when you get them into the CRM. Now let's go back up. So the choices in the advanced area is add new and updating existing contact records, or do we want to just add new contact records, or do we want to update existing contact records? We want to do both. So let's always, no matter what you're doing, this is usually what you want to choose, right? And then in this case, I always choose email. The email is pretty personal to one person. So you can do that. Not everyone has a cell phone in their record. You can also add a secondary preference too of cell phone. That's fine. And then don't update empty values for existing records. Uncheck that for sure. Definitely uncheck that, because you do want, if there's an empty field, you want it updated. And then it says add to workflow or campaign. This is a little fancier. The Revelana system is super simple, but it also is very robust. So let's say Manav and I created a workflow that, like, anyone who went to the expo that you have in your list now, you have a whole marketing campaign set up, and it's through an automated workflow. If it sends an email today, as soon as you upload the list, it's going to send an email. And then 2 days later, it sends a text and an email. 3 days later, it might send it. That's what a workflow is. Revelana does that. In this case, we don't have a workflow for this video, so we're just going to keep going. But if you did have a workflow, then you want to put that on, and then make sure that you choose the right workflow for that too as well, right? So we're not going to do that this time. I'm just going to keep going. So now I'm going to press submit. And then my file's being processed. You can click there to view the progress. And so let's see, the Wedding Expo, bulk import, it's completed already. So view details, and it just tells you that that's what the action is, right? So when you go back to your contacts, you're going to see that it updated all of these. Plus, it added Amy Angry Eyebrow. She wasn't in there before. And you'll also notice they've all been tagged Wedding Expo 2022. So at some point, you can do a search for anyone who's got that tag, and even create a smart list from it. And that's another video, and do a whole campaign to that list. So I hope you appreciate the video. Hope you find this super simple and you love it. And I know we love you. So have a great day. Thanks. Bye.